just because I'm thinking about getting sober, and maybe that's a mental labor in some sense, is not the same as getting sober and actually doing the work to get sober. Thinking about mowing the lawn is not the same as mowing the lawn. Thinking about going to the gym is not the same as going to the gym. One of those requires support, the other one does not. Now, is it tough to have a mental load that you know that you need to change? Sure it is. But is asking someone to dismiss the fact that you're still doing the thing that you need to change okay? Right. It is not okay. That is weaponized support. Yeah. That is weaponizing support. That is pulling on someone's heartstrings that loves you dearly, that is clearly an empathetic person, and asking them to dismiss what is best for you and what is best for the relationship, what is best for the children in the home, what is best for your careers, your finances, and everything else.
Yes.
When you're not asking for support, you just want them to drop it.
Yeah.
So if we're going to be honest, just say, can you just please drop this? I'm not ready yet. Welcome back to another episode of Till the Wheels Fall Off. I'm Matt.
I'm Paige.
Today we're going to be talking about weaponizing support. This is sort of a piggyback topic to what we had the other week, which was...
feeling like you're held hostage in a relationship.
Right, being held hostage in a relationship. We're
going to break this down a little bit more,
This is kind of one of the topics we talked about where someone can almost weaponize support, like a call to action for you to have more empathy, more patience, more trust, and things like that. I wrote a post in the community that got a lot of feedback, and I think it was worthy of an episode. So we're going to talk about it today.
Yes.
So you can expect to learn what that means when someone weaponizes support. What guys like me, I'm going to speak from personal experience here, what I meant when I was saying, I just need you to be supportive. What was actually going on behind those eyeballs when I was saying that
I feel like you're going to open up some can of worms today.
Am I going to get...
Are you going to get some serious storytelling going?
And I'm
going to be like, oh my gosh, that's what you were doing?
A little bit. We're going to talk about red flags that someone may be weaponizing support. We're going to talk about shifting from manipulation to genuine support and some practical takeaways for you along the way. First things first, we've got a newsletter that comes out every Monday morning. Well, I say every Monday morning I'm able to get to it. And
you've been pretty good.
So far I think I've only missed one since
You have?
Yeah, I missed one time.
When we were doing it on Wednesdays.
I released it on like a Thursday, but I didn't know anyone actually read it. So I started to get people like, hey, where's the newsletter? I'm like, oh, y'all read this? So I was like, oh, crap, I didn't know. So it comes out. You can check it out by going to our website, www.twfo.com. That's twfo.com. Go all the way to the bottom, input your email address. I think it sends you a confirmation email.
It does.
So be on the lookout
and
for
look
that.
in your junk mail.
Double check your junk mail as well. We've also got a course called Independently Strong, which is a course that Paige and I designed with the help of Dr. Christopher Taylor to provide you a path for healing. Really, it's really a course that builds your self-esteem. It helps you rediscover who you are, what your values are, what you want out of a relationship, what you want out of life. It's going to help you to communicate better. It's going to help you to set boundaries. It's going to help you to understand the difference between support and enabling, and many, many more.
Yes.
It is available at independentlystrong.com. You can get 75% off using the code Wheelies75. That's Wheelies with an S, 75. And
you can also go to our website, twfo.com, and get access to it.
And for the time being, it's got some really cool features. Like you get a community call within Independently Strong being hosted on Wednesday nights by the beautiful woman sitting next to me with the awesome short hair.
Oh, thanks.
New haircut going on. If you're a listener, you haven't seen it.
Glorious.
She's got this awesome, what's it called?
I don't know. Short hair.
They used to call that a bob, but it's not a bob.
It's not really a bob. I don't think it's much of a bob. It's just, I don't know. I needed it to be cut. It
poofier.
It was damaged and it was time to cut it, and it feels so good on like the back of my neck.
It looks amazing.
Thank you, dear.
But you will see Paige in those calls and other people that are really actively working toward healing. They've taken the healing into their own hands, made it their own responsibility to take charge, and these are people that you want to be around.
Yes, they're amazing.
Okay, next thing, we've got Recovery Rocks, holding one right now. This is a symbol of appreciation for a spouse or partner or someone in your life that has walked through addiction or really difficult times with you. On the front, it's got our logo, and on the back, it says, "Thank you for being my rock." Something, just a cool token to keep around to acknowledge the sacrifices, the patience, the dedication that someone's had as we fight addiction, as we get to the other side of it. It's just not acknowledged. The path of a spouse is not acknowledged. The hardships of a spouse are not acknowledged enough. That's a really cool way to give back.
Yeah.
We've also got shirts available on our website. We've got hats. We've got tons of stickers up there.
In my villain era.
Paige is wearing a tee. I'm wearing a tee. This one's not for sale on the website though.
Nope.
This is one of the guy that makes our shirts gave us these. He's like, hey, try these out.
Yeah.
We always like to try stuff out first before we sell it, because if it's junk, then
Right, we won't
I don't want
give
to put it out there
to you. Yeah.
So we wash it, wear it for a while, see how it washes, because that matters, right? I've had so many shirts or sweatshirts that came in and I loved them, and then you wash them and this does not wash well.
But I'm really bad at washing things too, so that could possibly be my fault.
No way, man. No, it should be able to withstand. That's part of the deal. I should be able to just throw it in there and just withstand it. If I have to get a garment, this is just me personally, that I have to treat special, I ain't doing it.
Oh, that's me. I don't buy things that are supposed to be ironed for that reason.
It's going to go in with the socks and everything else, and the towels or whatever else I want to throw in there. I don't care.
Yeah.
So that's part of the deal. So we've got to find merch that fits that bill.
Yeah.
So we're a little slow about getting it out.
Yep.
We also have a community. If
Wait,
you
we
want
have stickers too.
I said stickers.
Oh, you did?
Totally.
Okay.
Go back and check
Did
the
you see
tape.
my face? I don't know.
Did he?
We are so off today. It has been like a drama-filled, interesting day. So we're just kind of off.
Yes, it has. We've also got a Facebook community called Tufo Community. You can access that by clicking the link in any of our social media profiles. There's going to be a shortcut there. There's also, you can go to our website and there's a tab at the top that says community. And within our community, you will find thousands of other people that are going through the very same thing that you're going through. Our favorite members of the community, no offense to anyone, are people that find us via the podcast generally, because you guys really get it. If you're a listener, then you really understand what our mission is.
Hey, I love them all. That's not nice. You just singled people out. How rude.
I love you.
No, we have a thing. This is a thing. It's okay.
This is a thing. Going. And we even had, we had a discussion in behind the scenes here over the last week or so about when something's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we are not people that like to have rigid rules.
Yeah.
How do you curtail conversations? How do you keep people focused on Tufo's mission? How do you keep people focused on the things that we discuss on any given week? Because people discover us from various platforms. They'll find us on TikTok, or they'll just get referred out by someone in a different group. That happens sometimes.
Therapists refer them as well.
Therapists referred people.
Yeah.
What was the app that we showed up on recently?
I don't even. Oh, Peanut.
Peanut.
Yeah.
Someone said they found us on Peanut.
Yeah.
I didn't know what Peanut was until I looked it up.
Right.
That's really cool. I had no idea it was on there.
Yeah, they come from all different areas, which is, it's beautiful.
But the podcast is the best way to get a cohesive message across and get people on the same page.
Yep.
So we respect and appreciate and value all forms of recovery. And I mean that. I know that no matter where you are and what you're learning, you're picking up things that Paige and I absolutely agree with, and things that we live by just as well. Mm-hmm. But there are also some other aspects of different forms of recovery that we've been on the record about having an issue with to some degree. Mm-hmm. When it comes to things like codependency, when it comes to the invalidation that comes from certain support groups like Al-Anon, things like that. There's a lot of great things about those groups. But some of the things that we have problems with tend to be the biggest issues we have in our own community.
Yeah.
So, Paige, you posted recently about how are we going to get everyone on the same page? How do we as a community help each other heal? And I think you had some really great things to say.
Yeah. So I was just seeing a lot of comments where people were just saying, just leave, or go to this meeting, or you're just codependent, or you're enabling, or I'm saying this. And there wasn't much validation there. And our entire mission, the very first thing that we do is validate people.
Yep.
So we have VEER, validate, educate, empower, and help people in their recovery. So I encourage people, whenever they're in the community, if they see a post that they relate to, instead of just saying something super direct, use the VEER method to respond. Validate them. Say, hey, I feel you. I hear you. I see you. When we are heard, that is when we actually start to make progress and feel like we can be healed, we can start healing, is when we're heard. It's not when somebody tells us what to do in a very blunt and direct way. That's why a lot of programs out there didn't work, for me specifically, because I didn't like how they were approaching it.
Yeah.
So if you keep in mind doing the VEER, you validate, you say, hey, I feel you, I hear you, we're all here for you. And then you educate them and say, hey, there's a podcast episode on this that really helped me. Or I'm in the Independently Strong course and I love this part of the module that helped me, deal with this very thing that you're dealing with. And even if they're not asking for education, you don't even have to give them that, right? You can still just validate them and then empowering them by saying, hey, you are a badass. Like, you are stronger than you think. We've got you. We're all here for you. And then once they start doing all the things that are TUFO related, that's part of their healing and recovery process.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just the way I encourage people to really go after it and help people in the community, because guys, we're hurt. This is hard. We come into the community. I wanted to create a safe space for people to come in and feel heard. I didn't want them to feel like, oh no, this is just another program that I didn't fit into.
Right. That's exactly right. The validation is the most important part.
It is.
And I came from 12-step community, so I understand like where it comes from, because if you found a solution in a 12-step, a lot of the times the rhetoric sounds something like, get to a meeting, get a sponsor. But that's not what TUFO is about. And so it's not that we're not trying to disrespect anyone else's recovery. We're just asking that the conversations that take place in there and the path for healing be focused on TUFO's content, because it is a TUFO support community. Mm-hmm. It is not an Al-Anon support community or any other support community. It's TUFO's community.
Right. There are plenty of other meetings or groups out there,
thousands of
where
them
you can discuss those types of programs. And again, we respect if you're utilizing us and other programs. That's awesome. That's great. I encourage people to get as much support as possible wherever they can. That's great. Like, really amazing, but just please be mindful. That's all I'm asking, because it's our group too. Like, we've worked really hard and lived through a lot of things to create this mission,
right? And
to create our course and everything else that we do, and the podcast every week. Like, there are solutions within the resources, but people need to feel heard first. Let's just show a little bit more compassion.
They do. Like, just not just drop a link and say, go to a meeting, and drop a link to an Al-Anon group. Like,
or you need this, or why don't you do, or I think you should do this, or this, it's like, say something along the lines of, in my experience, this is what worked for me. Boom. And just be kind. Boom. Just be kind. We are hurt. We need someone to show us the way. And that starts with feeling hurt. Yeah. And we would just ask that when in our community, in TUFO's community, which is a podcast centered community, like it's around the podcast and our own content. Mm-hmm. That's why we're all there. We're all there because we like the content. We like the topics. We like the way it's presented. Mm-hmm. And so it's not that I want people to just forget the fact that they found healing and peace in Al-Anon and they also like us. I don't want them to forget that. Yeah. I just don't want us to be dismissed in favor of something else that we're not discussing. Yeah. I don't want someone to just be told, like, there are a lot of people who aren't aware that we even have a podcast that are in that community. Yeah. They found us through other means. And so they'll just come in. They just think it's another like Al-Anon community, and they'll just tell people like 12-step rhetoric stuff. It's like, this person just poured their heart out and told you how hurt they were. And the last thing they wanted to hear was, you're just codependent, honey. Yeah. That's not helpful. It's not helpful to people. No, and I know that a lot of listeners found us because other programs weren't treating them the way that they felt they needed to be treated. And that was the whole purpose of creating this community. Right. So we are an alternative. We are proud of that. Yes. So veer. Let's validate, educate, empower, and help on the recovery. If you can just hop in there and say, I hear you, I see you, I feel you, that's enough. That's all you need to say. We don't even have to give them any more information unless they ask for specific advice and you have been down that road. So we'll address it again at some point. I'm sure this is going to keep happening. It'll come up. Like, we're growing, and like, if you've been listening to us for however long, like, that's how long we've been doing this. We are by no means experts. We are very new at this. Yes. So be patient with us as we try to figure this out. Like, we didn't have a playbook for this at all. So, no, but that's welcome to life. This is how we roll. Thank you everybody. That listens. Thank you to everyone that supports us. Thank you for everyone that's ever been there for us. Like, you mean so much to us. You have no idea. We don't mean to single anyone out. We just want to keep things clean moving forward if we can. We know it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. Yep. That's okay. Yep. We have grace for that. That's fine. Yes. All right. Okay. Back to the topic of the episode. So this all came about. A lot of times I get inspiration for like things that I'll write from stuff that I'll see like in the community. And someone had posted something, and then someone else had posted something similar that day. And like the theme was kind of in my head, and it was around someone else telling their spouse, I just need you to be supportive. Mm-hmm. And if I remember correctly, there was, in both situations, there was someone who had gone through like a lot of stress with this person. Like, they had been through hell and back, relapse after relapse after relapse after relapse, and nothing was really changing. And the person was basically telling them,
I just need you to be supportive. That's all I need from you. I need you to be supportive. Remember, we were in counseling. He just said, you just need to support me. And the person felt incredibly invalidated by this. And I understand why, because
100%.
I have been that dude that said, I just need you to be supportive. And so I let people know what I meant when I said those words.
Yes.
And it's not what you think.
No.
It's not what it sounds like. There's more going on behind it. And I'm going to get into that. So I think let's talk about first the manipulative use of support. So kind of in our last episode that kind of deals with this about being held hostage, we talked about this briefly. And I think we mentioned this, but we're going to dig into it a little bit more. So what is the true meaning of support in a relationship? So first off, support as a mutual partnership. So in healthy relationships, support means being there for each other through challenges. You provide encouragement for people, understanding, sometimes a shoulder to lean on, a shoulder to cry on, but it's about being invested in each other's well-being.
It's about validating here too. Just kind of having a healthy communication with each other about
having mutual empathy within the relationship that I see you, I know what you're going through, and you do the same for me.
Exactly.
That's what it looks like I would say this is the true meaning of support in our opinion. The next thing would be encouraging positive change within each other. Like my favorite thing about Paige, and I think that I'm going to say like any guy that I've ever talked to that I felt like had a really strong marriage looks at their partner as a motivation in a sense, like you always gave me this idea of this man that you saw that I could be. And I loved that idea just as much as you did. And I always wanted to be him. I remember like I've told this story so many times, coming home, like stumbling drunk and being so disappointed in myself and just telling you and promising you like one day I will be a good man. I promise you one day I'll be a good man. It's one of the only promises I've ever kept in my life, but that was one. And I think that encouraging positive change is in that same vein. Genuine support involves encouraging your partner to grow and change in ways that benefit their health and the relationship as a whole.
Yeah.
Because after all, we are in a relationship. So that means you're supporting someone through, in difficult but necessary ways, right? So if it's like addiction, it's getting help and it's sticking to recovery goals and it's holding people accountable to some degree. We did an episode on challenging versus controlling. Yeah, we did. So this is very much in line with that. It's like I always just challenged you. I just wanted you to be the better person that I knew that you could be. That's not a bad thing. Like it doesn't mean that I'm not giving you autonomy. Yeah, autonomy.
Okay, thank you.
Independence.
I told you guys that my brain is like not firing today. But yeah, it means that I'm just challenging you in a healthy way that I think would benefit us as a whole.
Yes, absolutely.
You by yourself and as a whole and as a father.
Yep. I also believe that in a supportive relationship, accountability is a form of love. Oof. What I mean by that is that it encourages the person to take responsibility for their behavior. And that's crucial for recovery and personal growth. Like I love you and I want to see you shine. I want to see you win. I want to see you be amazing. Not just in the very narrow view of what that means to me, but also for you, because we've been together for 20 plus years. I know what makes you happy.
Yeah.
I know what gets you going. I know what your goals and your dreams are. And I want to help you get to that point. And if I see you take a hard turn in the other direction, I'm going to remind you what you like, what you want in life. Does it benefit me too? Sure, because we are in a marriage.
Exactly.
Like in a lot of ways, my goals are your goals. Sure, I still have some of my personal goals, but as a couple, we also have goals that we share. And one person veering off the road too far is going to hurt the entire thing.
But in order for our marital goals to work or relationship goals to work, you have to be strong as an individual so that they can come together.
You do. So accountability isn't just like, don't some programs like shy away from this?
Well, I read somewhere, and I don't know, it's been a minute, but it was a comment that stuck to me, and it might have been on my TikTok or something where...
Oh, so take it with a grain of salt.
Right. It was either on our community or on TikTok, but I think it was TikTok, where other programs don't teach you how to hold your partner accountable. And it really threw me off because I felt like we all need accountability. Like we all need accountability. Alcoholic, drug addict, no matter what, healthy person.
Healthy people, man.
Yeah, I know. But that's what I'm like. We all need accountability. So for some reason, that really stuck in my mind where I was like, this doesn't sound right to me. This is not what healthy relationships mean. People need to be held accountable for their actions.
Yeah. True support is not about being a passive bystander and just ignoring things. This is our views. Again, our views. This is not written in a medical journal. These are just our views. This is what worked for us. Emotional safety as well. This is crucial to a relationship, any relationship. We talk about that a ton here. If there's no intimacy in a relationship, it's generally because there's no emotional safety in a relationship. I can go on rants about that all day long.
Yeah, that's a whole other episode.
But a supportive relationship is one where both partners feel emotionally safe to express their concerns, fears, and boundaries. And that includes when I see you take a hard turn off the road. It's about fostering an environment where difficult conversations can happen.
Yes.
Without like this fear of like we're keeping score, there's a scoreboard somewhere, or that I'm going to be retaliated against if I say something, and we're going to play the tit for tat game, or you're going to manipulate me in some way. Like, it's crucial to have emotional safety.
Yep.
Reciprocity and support as well. Support's a two-way street. Okay, it's a two-way street. This is what's often forgotten when it comes to spouses and addiction, is that this is a two-way street. Now, granted, and I will be the first to say this because I've been there as an addict before, you need a lot of support in recovery, early recovery especially. And it's like 80-20. Like I'm giving you very little back. Like I'm in the home, I'm present, I'm talking to you to some degree. Like I'm there, but you're not getting a lot of support from me. I'm incapable in many ways of providing that very early on.
Yeah.
So it is kind of a one-way street.
That sucks.
Healthy relationships, though, have reciprocity. It is a two-way street. And there will be times in your relationship, this is very common. This has been our case since the beginning of time for us, where one of us will need the other one heavier at times. Like you will need me and I will have to sacrifice my needs for you. And then vice versa, I will need you really heavy and you'll have to do the same. And then there's these beautiful periods of time where we come together and we're there for each other.
Yeah.
It's never really been the case where we're both down and out.
Yeah. It happens though.
It does. And when you both feel just
it happens
like, I'm
very
struggling.
rarely.
Me too.
It happens. It
does
happens.
happen. It just happens.
But we were able to give each other like 50%.
And then support versus enabling. We've talked about this in episodes before. It's important to distinguish between support and enabling. Support helps someone move forward, while enabling keeps them stuck or keeps them moving backwards. That's the difference.
Yep.
True support means setting boundaries that prevent enabling behaviors, even if it's uncomfortable. It's about doing the right thing, not the easy thing, the hard thing, not the comfortable thing.
We talk about that in the course. We have an entire module on that.
So, having said that, now that we've established what we believe to be healthy, like what is
healthy? What
is manipulation? How do you manipulate support? This is done in a variety of ways. So in my post, I'm just going to read the post real quick. It's not super long. I started off by saying, I just need you to be supportive. It's in quotes. That's the topic of it. It says, words many of you have undoubtedly heard many times, and it pulls at your heartstrings. It brings out your humanity, your empathy, and it signals loyalty. I used to be that dude. And here's what I personally meant when I said these words before I got serious about recovery. Number one, what I really meant when I said, I just need you to be supportive was, I want you to stop being mad at me. Because these words often came after I had just justifiably gotten my ass chewed for something. I screwed up and I got my ass chewed. Justifiably, I screwed up badly. I did something that I would never want someone to do to me, something that breaks trust, whatever it might be. And I hate letting you down, but I also don't like it when you're pissed because it screws with status quo. It means I have to work harder toward getting you back to happiness. It means I have to address the actual problem. And it keeps me from meandering in my desired state of full enjoyment. That is to say, your anger kills my buzz. Like it is a buzz kill to my life. It is a buzz kill to my actual buzz. I want you to stop being mad at me. And it's another way of saying, like, you know that I'm a good dude underneath it all. You just need to give me a break. Can't you just be happy? Just forget about this. Set your shit aside for a moment and just give me a pass. There was a lot of that going on behind those words, if I'm really honest about it. The second thing, when I just need you to be supportive, what I actually mean is I need something like grace. I need something like sympathy, but I really just need you to back off. And I wrote, that felt nasty typing that, because I remember when I wrote it, as soon as I typed it, I was like, ugh, That is so true. What I'm really asking for is you just back the F off. Leave me alone. Let me get away with it. It wasn't support I was looking for. It was that I need you to focus on something else in the world because I'm doing me and you just need to be okay with it.
Yeah. Back off.
I just need you to focus on something else. And how many times did we have the fight where I would say, do you just look for things to get pissed about every morning?
Ooh.
Do you wake up and just like, what am I going to get mad about today? What can I get pissed at him for?
Yep.
And it's accusing you of nitpicking. But really what I'm doing is I'm gaslighting you into thinking that I'm not that bad.
Yeah.
And that this isn't that big of a problem, but
Right.
we had serious problems.
Yes.
Now, can you do this and not have serious problems? Sure,
Yes.
you can. And that happens all the time. I'm not saying that.
Right. But you know what helps people to get out of that is not being an asshole like that. It's more validating the feelings that they are having a problem.
Mm-hmm.
No, even if it seems small to you, like it might be like if I wake up and I'm angry, right? Instead of saying like, do you just wake up angry? Why do you got to be angry all the time? You can just say something like, is everything okay? I'm here for you if you need anything. You know, I just validate.
Yeah,
just be there.
Validating is not necessarily agreeing that these are like that you should be feeling this way or should listen. They are feeling this way, and
Right.
it's caring enough about the other person to hear their perspective and what they're feeling. It's having a respect enough for them to be allowed to speak whatever they're going through. It's just that. It's just I see you and I hear you and I'm here for you.
Yeah,
you
and
can say whatever you need to say.
When you started doing that, it's like the anger lifts. It's very weird. The actual emotion that bothers me, or if I'm going through something that's really hard, whenever you do that, it's like, you know, a breath.
Same.
It's so wild.
When you do it for me, it feels the same exact way.
It's so much better.
It takes like that edge off of the anger of whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But what I really need for you in this situation is I just need you to back off. It sounds like grace. It sounds like sympathy, but it's really just back the F off and find something else to focus on for the time being. Because if I was actually looking for support, I'd be asking for encouragement in some way, not belittling you for your response to my screw ups.
If you were asking for support, you would say something like the lines like, I need some help. You know, we need to do something.
Or I'm struggling with my emotions. I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah. You would become
Maybe
a
we
little
should
bit
look at
vulnerable.
Something. Yeah, you're right. It'd be like an open, vulnerable conversation to some degree, right? To
Right,
some degree,
right.
even if you don't know exactly what that looks like. But it's not asking for a get out of jail free card because you don't want to deal with the consequences of whatever you've just done. Support and accountability is a form of love. It is to some degree holding people accountable. We just don't like being told what to do. When I say we, I mean me, guys like me that have said things like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't speak for everyone, but you'd have to pretty much convince me that other people don't mean the same thing when they say this stuff. The last one is I want to go back to a time when you didn't have a problem with all of this. So remember when we used to drink together and it was fun? Let's do that again. That was way easier again. Love me again and accept me again like you did back then. That's another big one because at one point in our relationship, it was fine, but life changes, life evolves, responsibilities get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and we have to evolve with that. I stayed stuck. Mm-hmm. And anytime that you would remind me that this isn't flying anymore, I would belittle you for it. And I would judge you for judging me for it, knowing damn well that what I was doing was wrong. I just didn't want to fight about it. I just wanted you to accept it. And that's kind of when I get out next.
That's so crazy.
There are probably many more of these, and we're going to explore some more of them in this very episode. But I can promise you what I said when I asked for support back then was little more than asking for dismissal. I wanted you to just dismiss it, forget about it. When I actually got sober, and this is true, I don't think I even asked for support.
No, you did not.
I don't think I did.
Because you would have done anything to recover and change and do whatever you needed to do, that you didn't ask anybody for support. It was like, I'm going to do this with your support or not.
Back to the beginning of the components of a healthy relationship, here's what I found is that I got support when I started giving support. Mm-hmm. So rather than asking for support, I started supporting you and you supported me, because healthy relationships have reciprocity with support and with all things.
Yeah.
Period. So if someone's asking for support, but they're not actually doing anything that requires support, they're just asking you to be okay with their lack of effort. That's all they're doing. They're just wanting you to be okay with their lack of effort. That's That's all it really is.
They're not wanting to be challenged at all.
No, they want you to stop being mad. They just want you to quit. Just quit riding my ass. Just let this go. Just be okay and stop riding my ass about it. Like, just let it go. They're asking you to be okay with their lack of effort. That's all I was really doing. Honestly, that is at the crux of it all. When I was saying these things,
you're giving out a lot of secrets, I think.
Fine. That's my job, is to blow the lid off all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, so could it ever be the case that someone really means I need support? Of course it could. Of course it could. But we're talking about weaponizing support. There's some people that would break down and like, I need your help, right? But this is just my perspective. I would have done that in a situation where, let's say that I was going to like an IOP and I was spending a lot of time outside of the home because I was trying so hard to get my mind right in recovery. And I came home and you wear my ass out that like, I'm not home enough. Like, I understand that you're upset, and I would be upset if I were you too, but I need your support right now. I'm doing everything I can, but I'm doing something that requires support in that moment.
Absolutely.
I'm not doing nothing and asking you for dismissal.
Right.
Like, we've talked about this before, and I got this from Chris Williamson. He's got this newsletter, and he might have gotten it from someone else. So I apologize if anyone's listening. I can credit the author of this or the conception of the idea, but like, thinking about doing the thing is not the same as doing the thing. Just because I'm thinking about getting sober, and maybe that's a mental labor in some sense, is not the same as getting sober and actually doing the work to get sober. Thinking about mowing the lawn is not the same as mowing the lawn. Thinking about going to the gym is not the same as going to the gym. One of those requires support. The other one does not. Now, is it tough to have a mental load that you know that you need to change? Sure it is. But is asking someone to dismiss the fact that you're still doing the thing that you need to change okay?
Right.
It is not okay. That is weaponized support.
Yeah.
That is weaponizing support. That is pulling on someone's heartstrings that loves you dearly, that is clearly an empathetic person, and asking them to dismiss what is best for you. And what is best for the relationship, what is best for the children in the home, what is best for your careers, your finances,
all
and everything
things.
else.
Yes.
When you're not asking for support, you just want them to drop it.
Yeah.
So if we're going to be honest, just say, can you just please drop this? I'm not ready yet.
Yeah.
That's more fair.
It is.
Accurate.
It is, because when you're doing that, you're not leading them on anymore.
It's true.
In a way, you're not quit leading people on.
You're not being held hostage.
You're not
like
being
we
held
talked
hostage.
about.
Again. Yeah.
This also has psychological effects for the partner. This is spousal recovery. So let's talk about these. Let's talk about emotional burnout.
Yep.
This will burn you out emotionally, going through these cycles over and over, because I was really good at convincing you that I really needed your support. And I was working on all these changes. Maybe in my mind, I'm toying with the idea, but I'm really good at selling shit. I can really sell you on the idea that I'm actually doing more than I am to make it seem like you need to see that I'm on the same page as you, and I'm really not.
Yeah.
I'm just not. And that will put you in a state of constant vigilance. It puts you on alert to manage my emotions. It leads to emotional exhaustion for you as you're trying to, quote unquote, support someone that's not doing anything that requires support. So it's going to put you in a state of vigilance. It's also going to create resentment and guilt.
Yeah.
It can kind of keep you trapped between resentment for the manipulation and guilt for not being supportive enough, while also feeling in your gut like something's like not right about all this. This just doesn't feel like anything's really changing. This doesn't feel like anything's changing. This will also erode your self-esteem over time, diminish self-worth. So constantly prioritizing the needs of somebody else can erode your self-esteem and lead you to feeling unimportant, undervalued, unappreciated. We talked about that. And like when we talk about codependency, this is kind of how that works. Like the enabling behaviors, focusing on someone else that keeps them stuck in a way, erodes your own values. Like one of the first things we do in Independently Strong is we reestablish values. What do they mean to you?
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
Right.
To let you know that you are worth it. It is not about your worth. That always breaks my heart so bad when I see people in the community posts like, why am I not worth it? You are worth it. You are worth it. We don't feel like we're worth it. I don't feel like I'm worth it. I can't do it. It's got nothing to do with you. You were always the moon to me. You were just like this idea of this perfect person that I was unworthy of. It's not the other way around. I felt unworthy. I wasn't enough. That's how it was for me. I'm sure there are other different stories out there, but this will leave you feeling Like,
Yeah, this is only part of the problem that'll make you feel like you have a low self-esteem. Like there's so many different dynamics within the relationship and things that happen that cause that for you losing yourself.
one of the sickest parts about this, one of the worst side effects about weaponizing support is that you put your partner, your loved one, in a situation where they begin to internalize blame, where I'm responsible because I'm not supporting him enough, knowing damn well that I don't give a shit about recovery right now. I don't. I'm not that serious about it.
No.
I know that you're serious about this. And what I'm hoping is that you'll get distracted by the kids in school or everything that we've got going on or sports activities or just life in general to forget about it and let me do me. That's what I'm counting on. But over time, you're going to internalize blame for this, because if I'm saying you're not supporting me enough and I'm not getting sober, then eventually you're going to start to believe he'd get sober if I supported him more. That's not true.
Nope.
That's not true.
Nope.
That is not true.
Nope.
Absolutely not true. But that is one of the sick pieces of this that happens. And I will say that, and I'm going to go through a couple of razors later about this, is that I didn't know that this was an externality. I didn't know that this was going to happen. Should I have known? Yes. I was negligent.
You didn't know
without a
that
doubt.
what was going to happen.
I didn't realize that doing that over and over and over
could do something to me.
was going to affect you the way it did. And it's not an excuse. I'm just saying that a lot of times it's not malicious or well thought out. I'm not thinking that far ahead. I'm not.
No, but I mean, I didn't think that it would do so much damage to me either. You
No,
you don't think about that. But then also I was so confused the whole time because you were throwing me through a loop all the time that I'm like, I don't even know what to think anymore. This is really confusing.
Yeah.
So you don't know until you're out of it how damaging it is.
There are a lot of people who have been in this for a very long time, and they are in that place where, yeah, it feels like it's got to be me. It has to be me.
Yeah.
I'm not doing something right. And then they come and find places like Tufo and find out that, listen, you're a small part of this problem generally. Addiction recovery is going to be their journey. You can support them in recovery, but you can't necessarily support someone in addiction.
No.
That's what we're asking, though. And when we're asking for this,
Yeah.
I'm asking you to support it.
Yes.
Just be okay with this.
Yeah.
Like,
You're asking.
my behaviors aren't the problems. Your changed expectations are the problem.
Oh, you want to go down that road, baby?
She looks like she's about to throw a freaking shoe at me just now. Okay, anxiety and depression. Chronic stress causes some serious health problems, actual physiological problems. If you read about the effects of stress on the body and the lack of sleep, it will scare you. It is as bad as junk food, smoking, and several other things. It is horrible for you. It can also isolate you. You might withdraw from your social circle due to the fear of being judged or misunderstood for your worsening emotional state. Like, oh man, she's going through something. And then you almost become a leper in your group, and no one wants to really ask because they don't know how to handle it and they don't know what to say. And it becomes so bad, so bad. We talked about loss of identity, cognitive dissonance between conflicting beliefs. That's another one. This internal conflict that you have between wanting to help and also recognizing that support could be enabling harmful behavior. And that's going to lead to psychological distress. Like, you are going to be confused. You're going to spend hours a day thinking about every scenario and wondering if you're doing it right or doing it wrong. Listen, supporting someone in addiction is an enabling behavior. Okay. It is. Like, support in addiction, support in recovery is different. That is back to the beginning, just our opinion here. That's what supporting someone in recovery looks like. What else was there? Physical health. And we kind of
talked about that. Yeah.
Okay. So red flags that support is being weaponized.
Ooh.
Let's go through some red flags. You will know these when you feel these. Okay. And there's never, because everyone's got different ways of communicating how they're going to weaponize this, but it generally looks the same. Like when I posted that, a lot of people were like, oh my God, I've heard that before. I've heard that before. I've heard that before.
And they were adding in all the things that they've experienced and what they've been told within their relationship.
Yeah. So minimizing consequences, that's a red flag. If I'm asking for support to downplay the seriousness of my actions. So if it's support in order to downplay the seriousness of a behavior, let's say that tomorrow I start smoking weed and I don't tell you. And then you find like a pipe or something laying around. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I just tell you, listen, like, it's just a slip, no big deal. You just need to understand, like, recovery is not linear and everyone's looks different. Oh. And you just need to let it go. It's not a big deal. We'll get back on track, whatever. without addressing that there's obviously some
something
deeper
going
issues
on
at play
yeah
here, right?
yeah it needs to be a much bigger conversation and not downplaying
And
it.
what I've said there, I've created a one-way path where I can say something, but I don't want your feedback. I want you, once again, I want you to forget about it. I want you to drop it. I know you're mad, and maybe that's enough to get me back on track, but probably not. I'm dismissing you. I'm just pushing this big boulder of dismissal at you, saying, hush.
Yeah.
Hush. That's a red flag, okay? Avoiding accountability. So if support is requested in place of taking responsibility for the behavior, expecting you to overlook or excuse the action. So when support is requested in place of taking responsibility. So example, they might expect you to cover for them, like not tell family about it or talk to your friends about it. Like, this stays between us. Calling in to work sick or calling like a parole officer and making up some bullshit about why they missed something, lying to others about the behavior and framing that as being supportive or quote unquote loyal. A lot of people weaponize loyalty the same way. Like, you're like putting you in a position where you feel like you would not be able to call the police on me.
Yeah.
In some instance, like, I hope you know that if I ever got, I know you would, but I don't know if I ever got to the point where like, you would not fear breaking my trust and loyalty if you had to get to a point where you had to call the police to protect yourself or the kids.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's really hard to do because y'all are very good at what you do when it comes to blaming and not taking the accountability and putting it all on us. So then we really start questioning our sanity and what we're doing and if we did the right thing.
Yeah.
So it's scary for people to try to hold you accountable and do the right thing because we've been harmed so many times.
Listen, every couple's got some Bonnie and Clyde shit they do. Okay, everyone's got some Bonnie and Clyde shit. You might.
We were Bonnie and Clyde for Halloween a couple of years ago.
You might cover for someone in some instance. Maybe you overlook some wrongdoing, right? It's like, listen, I got your back. I got you. But when it comes to this is a serious issue that's affecting your life, their life, your children's lives, your livelihood, your finances, your health, all of it,
the things,
right?
Yes.
That street bullshit on loyalty goes out the window.
It does.
It's gone.
It does.
And if someone's weaponizing support and loyalty, they're trying to put you in a position where you need to let this shit go. And here's why. They're going to pull on your heartstrings and tell you, we're ride or die. You know, you're supposed to be my ride or die. I should be able to depend on you before anybody. You're supposed to stick up for me. I'm your husband. How dare you? Bullshit, dude.
Gag.
Bullshit.
That is so terrible.
I hate that people are put in these situations, but they are. And if I can serve as a voice to tell you that that's not right, then that's what I'm going to do.
Yes.
Gaslighting someone as well. We all know about gaslighting. Mm-hmm. Person suggests that your concerns and boundaries are actually unsupportive or harmful to the recovery, making you question your own judgment.
Oh, it's such bullshit.
Right. So gaslighting in the sense that, listen, I'm not a problem. The extent to which you have an issue with it is the problem. Your expectations are actually the
Going
problem.
back down that road.
I'm not the problem. Your expectations are the problem. You have impossible expectations. You don't support me. You know about my past. You know about what I've been through. You know about my struggles, all kinds of shit, right? Done with that. They might accuse you of being controlling or unsupportive when you express concern, or you set boundaries, or you turn the focus away from their own behavior. Or we want you to turn the focus away from our behavior
and
we'll
put it on us.
Onto you're
saying that we're wrong. Something's wrong with us.
Yes,
like
your
you're
expectations.
Yes.
You were high and mighty. You were always on your soapbox. You always have an opinion about everything.
This is why it is hard to set boundaries with manipulative people, because it is turned around on us so fast, and it is damaging, and it is ugly, and it is not fun, and it's scary. It's so scary. So it's not just because, we just have weak boundaries. It's not that. It's not that we have these character defects or these issues that we need to deal with. No, if you're in a relationship with somebody like this, you don't understand how difficult it is to really set boundaries, because you are always going on a roller coaster ride. It's a crazy cycle.
Next one's emotional manipulation. So using these emotional appeals, like invoking past good times, like I talked about that. Remember, you used to love me when I was just like this? Or playing the victim to guilt trip you into dropping your concerns or your boundaries. Like just appealing to you to say, why let this shit go? It's easier when you don't bother me about it. So example, they might bring up memories of happier times together. Remember, we used to go down on Knox Avenue and we used to drink and have a good time on Fry Street and all this stuff. We used to smoke bowls after the bar. We used to take pills together. We used to do all kinds of fun stuff. And you grew up. And so now I make you feel guilty, not just for that, but also for setting boundaries in your life, for setting boundaries to protect you, to protect our kids, to protect our finances, to protect the safety, emotional safety of our home. And then they start to play on your empathy and they tell you that, listen, things are really hard for me. They're just hard. And they justify the behavior. I used to do this shit all the time.
Oh, and it used to irritate me so bad because guess what? Life is fucking hard, y'all. There's going to be shit happening in your life all the time. Something is always going to come up. Nobody has it that easy. It is hard. Don't pull that crap on other people. It's not okay. It's not an excuse to be able to do whatever the hell you want to do just because you're having a hard time. I had so many issues with that.
Being an addict is hard. What got me what got me there was hard. But I am now 10 plus years removed from this, okay? I've seen both sides. You know what's hard? Keeping a family together in spite of someone coming home drunk. You know what's hard? Keeping finances together and being completely broke because there's no money in the account because it's all being spent on liquor or drugs. You know what's hard? Being a single parent. That's hard. Getting enough money to get high every day may be hard in some ways, but it's nothing like what spouses go through.
Nothing.
It's just not.
We don't get breaks.
It's 24 hours a day just keeping it together, just for your own sanity and for your children and everything else so you don't lose your house. And my life's hard? My shit's hard?
Miss me with that.
Listen, maybe it's hard, okay? Yeah, it's hard. I'll give you that. It's hard, but we're not sitting here and comparing hards now all of a sudden. You don't get to do that shit. You never came to me and pulled that crap.
No, I did not.
I didn't. And I probably would have responded with it by telling you how much harder I had it.
Yeah.
Well, that's not what people in healthy relationships do. That is weaponizing support. That is weaponizing what they're going through.
Yeah.
Even if it's true, let's do something about it. Let's go.
You'd be able to get through that hard thing easier if you had the better coping mechanisms.
Yeah. The last one we've got here is one-sided support. Talked about that a lot. A lot of times this is a one-way street. So expecting support without reciprocating or showing any effort toward recovery, creating this crazy unbalanced dynamic where your needs are just completely ignored. So they might consistently ask for emotional support, financial support, just pure leniency on everything without taking any real meaningful steps to improve their lives or situation. And it leaves you feeling completely drained and unappreciated.
Yep.
It's another one of the red flags. It's this one-sided support. And this is often what happens. Now, I will speak from experience and say that you need support when you're in recovery. You don't need support necessarily when you're in addiction.
No.
And I've met thousands of spouses that have been through this. I say met, I've interacted with. Okay. I've interacted with, I've read their stories. I've listened to them on calls. I've met some of them in person. Not a damn one of these people strikes me as a type of person that has not been incredibly supportive. Yeah. For Christ's sake, they listen to a podcast about rebuilding a relationship through addiction. You think they're not supportive? Who the F are you to sit there and criticize or accuse them of not being supportive?
Yep.
We take. That's what we do. We are net takers. We take. And then as soon as you say something about it, I'm going to weaponize that against you. It's just say that your expectations that are screwed up. The fact that you bring this up. If you could just be okay with it, everything would be fine. You can keep bringing this up and nitpicking and everything else. And we're not talking about people who are nitpicking that I leave or I put the toilet paper roll on backwards or something, you know?
Yeah. This is serious shit.
Leaving the seat up. This is serious shit, man. This is not just little piddly crap.
Yep.
Okay, so let's shift from manipulation to actual support. So accountability as true support. I do believe that accountability is a form of love. I have felt love in my life from my wife when she was holding me accountable. And wouldn't you say the same?
Absolutely. 100%.
Sometimes it hurts.
Yes.
Sometimes it doesn't feel the greatest.
Yes, at first it stings.
You learn the greatest lessons from the stuff that pisses you off usually.
Facts.
You know?
Yes.
The truth will set you free, but at first it will piss you off. And in a relationship, let's talk about yours here recently.
Are we going to do this?
We don't have to, but...
I mean, I wanted to talk about it on a different type of episode.
Let's hold it then.
Okay, because, I can't...
Because that is a whole nother theme. We could get lost there for an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. But accountability, we do hold each other accountable as a two-way street.
Yeah.
But encouraging growth, explain. Let's talk about with each other how real support involves not just having expectations, but holding one another accountable in a way that promotes genuine growth in recovery, in life, whatever goals that you have, rather than just simply allowing them to continue harmful behaviors.
Yeah.
So it's a conversation that we have, for instance, where you have always given me the leeway to attend meetings, to take time away because you know I need it. That's what support looks like these days.
Yeah.
And I reciprocate that in all the ways that you need support with your different responsibilities that you might have. Whether that's, I've got to be in 4 places at once today, and without even asking, I'm going to look at who needs to be where, and I'm taking half of it. I'm gone. We support each other where we need it the most.
Yeah, we're a team.
Even in your own, like, in just your life and what you want to do and who you want to become. Like, I'm there to pick you up. I'm there to support you. But when I see you not doing something and complaining about nothing changing, I will remind you of it.
Yep, 100%.
I will.
I'm grateful for it. It helps me grow and keeps me accountable.
I just wince and I get ready for the.
I know.
For the backlash.
But we'll get on.
But I'm doing it anyway.
We'll discuss that at another time. Like, I think that's a really good conversation to have.
Yeah, but you have to shift from asking for this quote unquote dismissive support, which is just weaponizing support, to actively engaging in recovery that fosters a healthier, more balanced relationship. If you're having conversations like that, that's a different story. That's no longer weaponization. That's how life works. That's how good relationships are built. That's how you get to the other side. When the person in the recovery, like when I started to take responsibility for my actions, for my own recovery, it fostered mutual respect and support because you saw what I was doing. And it's not like you lacked empathy or anything. So you knew how hard this was for me. You were there for me every step of the way.
Yeah.
My job was communicating that to you. My job was talking to you and being honest about what I was going through.
Yeah.
And being real about it. I know there are a lot of guys that struggle with the language of communication and the language of emotions and just, sorry, not language of communication, just the language of emotions. Struggling, like telling people what's going on between their ears.
Yeah,
like
how they're feeling.
We fear that we're going to get made fun of when we open up. We fear that we're going to be, told that we're little poons or something like that. But like, this is a person, generally your wife or husband or whoever, that wants more for you than you could ever imagine. Like, imagine what you would want for yourself in a decade. They want that times like exponentially. They want to see you win.
Yeah.
And they will help you along the way if you're helping yourself. They will help get you to the next level. That's what support looks like. It doesn't look like dismissing my screwing up so I can just get through the night. And so you can just forget about it because I know your pattern. I know you're going to forget about it in a week or two and we'll go back to normal. Every time you used to wear me out about our finances, if I could get through that conversation, I knew I was clear for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And I would just distract you and talk about something else or gaslight the shit out of you. And we would just get through it, and I could go back to doing what I was doing because I wasn't ready to change.
Right.
And I was weaponizing it. I need your support. Things are really tough right now, blah, 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 making shit up, blah, blah, blah. And you know what it feels like. You know what it looks like. You've been on the other side of that. Also, we talked about reciprocation. Like I mean it when I say that I got all the support I needed when I started supporting back. Like when I started supporting.
Seriously.
I just started supporting. I started being more present. I started to communicate more. I started to help out around the home. I started to participate as a parent and as a husband. And it's like the support was already there, right? Like you were never lacking in support for me. And I don't know if any wheelies really are lacking in support.
Yeah.
Maybe they're out there, right? I would be remiss to think that there's not some, but,
but
most, I would say in general, no, like you're not lacking in support. You're just not. You're lacking in reciprocation, which makes it really hard to quote unquote
really
support.
difficult. Yep.
Right. Like we generally respect respectable people. Like,
yeah, that's just like natural. Yeah.
Isn't that it?
Yeah.
Like that's the golden rule, right?
Yes.
So, okay. So I just takeaways, ask yourself, are your feelings, are your needs being ignored? Ask yourself that if you've been through this before to get to the end of it. You can ask yourself, is this support? Am I helping? Or is this enabling harmful behavior? We've kind of walked through the difference here. We've also got an episode about that. We talk about this in our course as well. Quickly, something I wanted to do to help listeners out. So I write a newsletter every week, and this week I focused on razors. Razors are philosophical frames of thought that help cut through bullshit. I think that the actual definition is like they help shave off like all the confusion around a concept. It's like the simplest one, like one of the first ones I ever learned about was Occam's razor.
Yes, you always bring that one up.
This has been around forever in my head. I learned it from the movie Contact way back when.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that movie?
Yeah, we just talked about it on our live.
That's right. Who was the actress's name?
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster. She was
Matthew McConaughey is in there, I believe.
Tay in the Wind, right?
Yes.
From Nail.
From Nail. I'm not going to do it. I loved that movie.
We have a friend named Tay, and anytime it's windy, he gets that treatment. Tay in the Wind.
Tay in the Wind.
Okay, so Occam's razor suggests that when faced with competing explanations for the same phenomenon, the simplest one is usually correct. So in other words, don't complicate things unnecessarily.
Yes.
Look for the most straightforward answer. Imagine you come home and your window is broken and there's a baseball laying in the floor. There are no signs of forced entry. The simplest explanation is that a neighborhood kid accidentally threw a baseball through the window, rather than assuming some complex scenario involving burglars.
Yeah.
I use this one to debunk basically almost every wild-ass conspiracy theory people from back home on Facebook have.
Yes, always.
It's really, really simple.
Mm-hmm.
But it can be really useful in situations like this.
Agreed.
The simplest solution is generally the correct one. Don't overcomplicate it. Remove the emotion from it. The simplest one is often correct. Another one that's really helpful here is Alder's razor, which says focus on observable change, not just promises.
Actions, not words.
Yep. Alder's razor suggests that if something cannot be settled by observation, it is not worth debating. Essentially, focus on what you can see and measure rather than getting lost in hypotheticals or unproven promises like, I'm really trying. Okay, without any observable evidence, that's just bullshit people say.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
I'm trying is not the same as doing, right? What did Yoda say? Do or do not, there is no try.
Yeah.
Boom. So this is what razors are for, that they help distill things down to facts. So let's say that when assessing someone's growth, what's tangible, what's observable, rather than relying on the words. Okay? Someone's really trying. I just need your support. What am I supporting exactly? Am I supporting the fact that he's really working hard, going to IOP, therapy, treatment, meetings, whatever it might be, right? Are they actually doing something that requires support? If not, then they're not asking for support. They're asking for dismissal. Hitchens' razor, very similar, says don't be swayed by empty promises. Hitchens' razor states that what can be asserted without evidence can also be dismissed without evidence. What you cannot prove, I can just throw out.
Oh.
It's gone. That means if someone makes a claim but provides no proof, it's reasonable to discard that claim until evidence is presented. So if someone claims that they're changing, but they offer no evidence, no consistent action, no effort to address the underlying issues, it's reasonable to question their commitment. It's like a politician, right?
Let's not get into that.
But it's true. Like, they promise all kinds of shit, but how many of them actually do what they're going to say they're going to do?
Right.
Like, from both sides of the aisle.
Yeah.
This is just what they do.
Yeah.
So those are some helpful things. If you don't subscribe to the newsletter, check that out. If you didn't receive this one and you want to read more about it, shoot us an email, info@twofocouple.com, and I will send you a PDF version of it. Last one, we talked about this a little bit. Hanlon's razor. Don't attribute to malice what can be explained by incompetence or stupidity. Like I said, when I did not realize how bad this was going to affect us later down the line, how bad it was going to affect you personally later down the line. It wasn't malice. I was just a dumbass, a complete dipshit. I'm not that smart to think 10 steps ahead. Right. But a lot of people feel like, and some are, right? Like there's some nasty Machiavellian type people that will do this intentionally.
Yes,
don't get me wrong. You could be with someone like this that you're like, no, this dude knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. Most of us are just dumbasses.
What's sad though is that you didn't know right from wrong. Like what the hell? How did you did not know? Like for me, that's just the wrong thing to do. You just don't do that to another person.
I agree. Yeah.
But you just didn't know not to do that? Like, are you ignorant? That's a whole other episode, I guess. I don't know.
I don't think not thinking that hard, not adulting,
I don't think you were trained that way.
No, just all kinds of issues. Anyway, this is what our community is for. This is what the podcast is for, to determine what's true, what's false. Again, I'm speaking from my own experience. I can't say that for a fact. that your partner feels the exact same way, but I've been around enough people
yes,
to know that this is for the most part true as far as I can understand.
How long have you been working with people?
11 years.
Okay.
So over a decade, I've had enough experience with people, and I've come to know and really understand and become really good friends with other people that have been this exact same person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we all do it to some degree. We all know we're doing it to some degree.
Yeah.
We just want you to let this shit go.
And I feel like we overcomplicate it way too much. And now you have just simplified it so much for everybody to Blair, like, your gut is on point, partner. That like a lot of the people in the community were saying, yeah, that's what I thought. Thank you for saying that my gut instinct is on point. I really appreciate that. So you're validating a lot of people right now. And they were probably overthinking it in a way, to try to but you're simplifying it. And I think that that's appreciated. Even though it hurts and it sucks, I think it's appreciated because it is validating their experience. I
hope so. That's my role here. That's, I think, what makes us a little bit different than a lot of other programs is that you get the perspective of someone that was there, that was doing these things.
Yeah.
From the other side of it, it's going to tell you the truth about it. I'm just going to be honest about it. This is what I was doing. This is what I was literally doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope it's helpful. Now, what you do with this information, that's your decision. And we're going to love you regardless of what you decide to do. If you feel like there's enough effort that is willing to invest in, then do it. And we're going to love you for that. If you feel like you've said everything I need to hear, I think I know what my next steps are. I don't know if I can do this anymore. I'm just going to have to find a way to move on. Then we're going to love you through that. Like, no judgment from us ever. Our goal is to provide validation, education, empowerment, and recovery for you. And it's going to look a little bit different for everyone. What you take with this stuff and do with it is ultimately up to you, right? It's up to you. I just want y'all to know that we love you and you're not alone in it. And you've been there. Paige is meaning you've been there before, exactly where they're at. And I've been on the other side of it. I've been like a ghost in that room with them saying this crap. And I'm telling you, this is what we mean when we say this.
Yeah.
When I'm asking for support, I don't really mean that. I just need you to fucking back off.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. Let it go. I'm trying, quote unquote, in my own way, quote unquote. And you just need to be okay with what I'm offering right now.
Yeah.
And you get to decide. You get to make the decision. Am I willing to keep doing this? Am I willing to accept that? And that's up to you.
I think this will give you more courage to actually set healthy boundaries for yourself, to acknowledge that you can't get sucked back into that because you know what the truth is.
You know the truth now. And use some of those razors. Like, they're not fail proof, right? Like, the simplest explanation is often the right one. Like, sometimes weird stuff happens.
Yeah, true.
This happens. There are anomalies, right?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes people are being malicious. Sometimes people's promises do come true even when there hasn't been a ton of observable change. Like, this does happen. Sometimes people's empty promises actually mean a lot more than you would think. But for the most part, these work, y'all.
Yep.
Think about how these apply in your life in general. They work. Razors are there to help you cut through the emotions and all the bullshit that clouds judgment.
Yeah.
So use those when judging whether or not someone's asking for support or someone's just asking you to drop it. I think that's all we've got here.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. Till next time, I am Matt.
I'm Paige.
And we'll see y'all.
Bye.